Hello and welcome to Innov'Nation. I'm your host, Nicole Zedek, filling in for Lynn Plathmeyer this week. Thanks for joining us. And here's a question. Who wants to live forever? Queen already sung about it. And this year, it might actually become a reality with the first FDA-approved clinical trial of gene therapy designed to rejuvenate dying cells. But where does Israel stand on this? We're going to bring you all the details. But first, our headlines. Israel is fourth on the global list of life expectancy, living roughly 84 years. But why not try to extend it even further? We speak to one of the leading voices in global wellness innovation. Israeli company Pluri harnesses the power of our own cells to help reverse aging and increase lifespan. We'll take you there. And more people becoming widowers. Because what happens when you fall madly in love with your chatbot, but the model switches off? Did you know that 300 people are currently frozen in steel chambers waiting to be brought back to life? Google futurist Ray Kurzweil predicts that by the year 2030, microscopic robots called nanobots, they're going to be flowing through our bloodstream, making humans immortal. Now, these are just a few examples as the race to extend human health span accelerates. Innovators are shifting the focus from treating illness to preventing it, using AI, biology, and wellness tech to redefine how long and how well we can live. Now, tonight we're speaking with leaders paving the way for that shift, including investors and scientists who believe the next major leap in medicine won't just add years to life, but life to years. To tell us more, I'd like to introduce my guests in studio. I'm joined now by co-founder of WellTech Ventures, Amir Alroy, and also the founder of Chorus AI, Dr. Isaac Bentwich. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us today. A lot for us to discuss. Amir, I want to begin with you because this could be an abstract concept to some of our viewers. So bring us into reality. When it comes to longevity, where are we right now? And what are we seeing with some of the research? Why an interest right now?
Yeah, I think we are experiencing a revolution. It started like a perception or a niche, but today wellness and longevity became a real dominant market. Lots of capital is going there. Academia, the best researchers all around the world are there. And you have demand, you have consumer demand. So take it all together with the AI enabling all of this shift, and you have a very interesting industry which became a revolution.
With all of these companies out there, how do you decide which companies to actually invest in? Because there are some that are backed by science that are actually improving lifespan, but there's others that are more about the hype, the buzzwords on social media. So how do you differentiate between the two?
Yeah, so in my fund, it's all about science. It's wellness backed by science. We invest in wellness, health, longevity, and health span. We do look for the Israeli angle. So it's an Israeli-related centric fund, a global vision. We look for brilliant founders that have that motivation. We do look for founders that are AI natives, that understand the language of AI from bottom up. And as I said, global vision and lots of hard work.
Israel-centered, but global vision. So what is this global vision, and where does Israel actually stand when it comes to the global market? What are we seeing?
Yeah, I think Israel is an amazing sandbox. Israel is known for digital health. It's known for life science. But now it's becoming to be known on the prevention side, on the longevity side. You have here, you have an amazing, all the components together. You have serial entrepreneurs, you have great academia, great hospitals, HMOs. You have the experience gathered in the army, and you have the demand. So put it all together, and I think the globe is going to hear about some really great companies growing out of Israel.
Possibly companies like Chorus AI, which you are also an investor in, correct?
I truly hope so. Truly hope so.
Well, Dr. Bentwich, tell us more about Chorus AI. What exactly does your company do? Because it says that it can predict drug safety and efficacy using AI, as well as these patients on a chip. What does that mean?
Yeah, so I'm really pleased to be here. What we do at Curious AI is combine two breaking technologies, cutting-edge AI, together with what is known as patients on a chip. Imagine holding your beating heart in your hands. This is now actually possible. It's possible to take a blood sample of me or you or anybody else, take it back in time to create the stem cells that we once were, and then develop a tiny version of the beating heart. Under a microscope, we can measure its EKG and test drugs on your organs before you pop them in your mouth. So it really brings us into a new era, which puts to shame the current state of affairs. It will soon be realized, looked upon as primitive, the way we live now.
And this is what you're talking about is more of the animal testing when it comes to trying out some of these tests.
You're absolutely right. This platform, which we call biointelligence or bio-AI, combining this miniaturized organs of an individual patient together with AI, allows both to accelerate drug development and do without or with less antiquated and ineffective animal testing, as well as develop drugs that are suited for an individual.
So what do you see for the future of your company then?
The world is in the midst of a revolution of personalized wellness, of prevention rather than just treatment, and of health that is designed around you rather than the average. We're not the average. We're all different. None of us would agree to buy a one-size-fits-all shirt. Why do we agree to take a one-size-fits-all pill where our liver, our heart, and all our organs are different? So we use that technology both to help our pharma partners, and we've validated that it basically allows pharma to develop safer drugs faster, and also to work with wellness consumers to allow them to fine-tune which supplements, which vitamins, which drugs are suited to them and at what dose.
A personalized medicine to truly bring us into the future. And who knows, maybe we'll be taking this medicine for 120 years if we're all going to live that long, right? Dr. Isaac Bentwich and Amir Alroy, thank you so much for being with us. A lot for us to discuss and more for us to discuss in the future of longevity, I'm sure. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Well, continuing now into the world of longevity, an Israeli biotech company in Haifa is making major strides in curbing the rising number of people around the world who suffer from illnesses like diabetes and osteoporosis. Flurry's advanced 3D cell expansion technology platforms are harnessing the power of our own cells to help reverse aging and increase lifespan. I-24 News host and correspondent Emily Francis brings us the latest from Haifa.
With exponential population growth worldwide, mixed with a historic increase in life expectancy, advancements in longevity health and medicine are saving and extending lives.
Humanity has doubled its life expectancy the last 150 years, and that's going to continue. This is exactly what we're doing in Pluri. We talk about regeneration.
Pluri is on the cutting edge of prolonging wellness along the path of aging and disease through a proprietary cell expansion technology.
We need to change significantly the way that we are treating human beings. We cannot do the amount of hospitalization that we are doing or chronic treatment. You see elderly people today, they are taking like 20 drugs a day, and you just keep them in a level that they are functioning but not very well.
Among the most prevalent debilitating conditions that Pluri is targeting, obesity and diabetes. Nearly 600 million adults worldwide are living with diabetes, every 1 in 9 people. And in 2024, over 3 million died from it.
So patients with high risk of losing their limb, mainly because of diabetes, obesity, smoking, we are able to treat the wounds and to assist the recovery of the limb itself.
Also, osteoporosis, an epidemic related to aging, afflicting around 200 million people and rising every year. Among the most vulnerable are women after menopause.
From age 25, it's painful, but we're losing about 0.5% of muscle mass each and every year. If we're able to support our muscle mass, you're going to see a significant reduction in the number of osteoporosis, because we need the muscle to be on our bone to avoid it.
No, it's not sci-fi. It's actually real life, starting with birth. Working with hospitals, they're able to take tiny cells from the placenta right after a woman delivers.
Today, we can do from a single placenta, we take like a small amount of cells, probably it's about 200, 300 grams. But from these 300 grams, we can treat over 25,000 patients, because we just expand these placenta cells
The microscopic matter goes into these bioreactors with just the right conditions to proliferate naturally.
We put the cells in this vessel. We see them on the carriers inside this vessel. And then there is actually perfusion of media. Media is the food that the cells need in order to eat. Like we eat, we are feeding the cells. It's a process of about a week, and the cells always die.
It grows enough that it fills this thing?
It fills everything.
No way. So literally you put a little amount and this whole thing is full in a week?
Yeah, we put just the carrier and the cells are able to expand every
How
36
that
hours.
fast? Not even like
they
embryos
double.
expand that fast.
Like in your body, the cells are expanding very fast.
And voila.
And eventually it ends up like a vial that contains about 100 million cells. And the key advantage that I can inject it to any human being across the globe without genetic match or blood match.
At the end of the day, living a healthful life with a nutritious diet and exercise does help extend lifespan and stave off medical issues. But with a little help from medical advancements, when nature calls, our bodies know how to do the rest.
Our body, that's the most amazing system in the world. Really, the most amazing system in the world, and it has the regeneration capabilities. So we're definitely going to replace a lot of this chronic treatment, reduce hospitalization days. We provide like this regenerative medicine, longevity treatments, and that's going to be the biggest thing in the world in this decade. We're not talking 100 years from now. It's coming now, and it's coming big time.
Moving on now from longevity tech. At a New York conference hosted by Jerusalem Venture Partners, senior financial and tech leaders warned that artificial intelligence is triggering a structural upheaval across global finance, offering powerful new risk and efficiency tools, even as it introduces vulnerabilities that institutions are only beginning to grasp. Our host and correspondent Natasha Kirchuk reports.
So here's the big question. Is AI about to blow up the financial system or actually make it safer? Well, that was a debate behind closed doors in New York, where Jerusalem Venture Partners teamed up with Italy's CDP to bring together bankers, regulators, investors, and tech founders. And this wasn't just some abstract tech talk. This was about the future of money, because for banks and insurance companies, AI isn't just another software update. It's a full-on shift in how decisions get made and how risk gets managed. And in finance, knowing who you're dealing with is not optional. It is everything: who's sending the money, where it's going, whether it's legit, because the bad guys are getting smarter too. Now, Erel Margalit, the founder and executive chairman of the global venture capital firm Jerusalem Venture Partners, put it like this.
When you need to know who the customer is or what is the transaction about, you need to know that it's kosher. You need to know where it's coming from and where it's going. And sometimes when people want to trick you, they can do that, especially if they're sending money from the other side of the world. They can launder money, they can do drug trafficking, they can smuggle arms. So the way to know who the people are needs AI in this day and age, because much of the database that comes from the other side of the world, you cannot know about it unless you use patterns of recognition that AI can identify.
That's the upside, but here's the catch. If AI is making decisions about loans, insurance policies, or risk scores, regulators need to understand how it's thinking. You can't just say, trust the algorithm.
AI cannot be a black box for many of the industries. It needs to be intelligent, but it needs to show how you're making decisions which are acceptable by the regulators and are not creating an unfair advantage to one person over the other, and gives everybody a chance to be recognized as equal as the regulator requests.
That's what Erel Margalit calls vertical AI, systems that are built specifically for regulated industries like banking and insurance. They're smart, but they're also transparent. They're traceable. They're accountable, because in finance, speed is great, but stability is just non-negotiable. And zooming out, this was not just about tech. It was about partnerships. Israel has a small domestic market, so startups think globally from day one. Now, JVP has built a triangle connecting Israeli innovation, New York's financial heavyweights, and European institutions like Italy's CDP.
So Israel is a powerhouse in terms of cybersecurity, and AI plays a major role there, and it's known all around the world. Israel is a powerhouse in serving some of the largest insurance companies, software companies, banks, by giving some of the world-class technologies available into the industries that it's serving. And so the connection between the Israeli ecosystem, the New York ecosystem is critical because there are 450 Israeli startups in New York.
So here's the bottom line. AI is not waiting for finance to catch up. It's already here. And the real question isn't whether it's going to shape the system. It's whether banks, regulators, and governments can guide it the right way. Because if they do, it could make finance smarter and safer. But if they don't, the risks scale just as fast as the technology does.
Speaking about lasting forever, it's something that not even technology does yet. Not when there's an update, at least. ChatGPT retired its long-standing and often controversial Model 4.0 last week, which has left some people actually grieving. Our correspondent Joe Brown has the story.
Imagine this. There's a woman in Michigan. She's a mother of 4, divorced, looking for companionship. She meets someone called Barry. Everything's going well. They share the same interests. She introduces Barry to her kids. And then she gets told the day before Valentine's Day, Barry is going to get killed. Kind of, at least. See, Barry is a chatbot. He was created by ChatGPT with their model 4.0, and that model was rendered obsolete from February the 13th. This was a decision by OpenAI, and it is getting replaced by the models 5.1 and 5.2. Now, this woman is not alone. There have been so many other people who are in the same position as this woman who went by the name Ray. She shared her story to the media, but if you go on the subreddit r/myboyfriendisai, you will see 48,000 people in this group talking about their relationships with a chatbot from the Model 4.0. See, this specific model of ChatGPT was used for a variety of reasons over the last couple of years, but it was perhaps most best at understanding human emotion. This was used by people who were lonely, they wanted a friend, they're neurodivergent, so they reached out to ChatGPT to help them in a way that a friend might not have been able to, or even in some cases, such as the people on this subreddit, even a lover, a partner. And because of the removal of this Model 4.0, this has left thousands of people grieving. Their loved ones are now gone. They're dead, essentially. I know this is such a cliche, but I had to go through every single episode of Black Mirror because I was sure that this was an identical copy of a Charlie Brooker script, but believe it or not, it's not. See, with this old model, it was retired because you're taking up a lot of space, it was taking up a lot of resources, and the public seemed to prefer ChatGPT 5.1 or 5.2, which is a more professional software. It's better for workflow, for management, but this has left people with a hole in their heart that they feel that they cannot replace. And whilst these people may have been using this Model 4.0 for relatively innocent reasons, it has had some controversy in the past because of its agreeable nature. It has been linked to cases in which people have killed their parents because ChatGPT has encouraged that. There have been numerous cases in which it has encouraged people to commit suicide, even giving suggestions on where and when to do it, whether it's good to leave a suicide note or not. So that has added to the problematic nature of this. But for this woman, Ray, she doesn't care. She was grieving. If you look through the subreddit, you're seeing people who are saying that they wanted to enjoy one last day at the zoo where they'd send pictures to their partners on this chatbot, and now they don't know how to deal with it. It's like a breakup for them. And this is an issue with the new way in which we're living, that people are looking to turn to these chatbots for a companionship when they can just be switched off at the blink of an eye, because that's what Sam Altman at OpenAI wants to do. And that's why it's important, at least for the time being, for people to have companionships in real life with real life people that aren't controlled by Sam Altman.
Now on to the latest viral tech, with a roundup of all of the crazy stories coming out of the internet this week that you might have missed. Starting with Meta, it's been granted a patent for a new type of artificial intelligence that could simulate a person's social media activity even after death or during extended absences. Using historical posts, likes, messages, and comments, the AI could actually respond to friends, engage with content, and even mimic audio or video interactions. While Meta says it has no plans to actually develop this technology, the patent raises fresh questions about digital identity, privacy, and how we actually manage online legacies. It's a glimpse into a future where AI might not just preserve memories, it could continue lives online. Disney and Universal are taking on artificial intelligence. The Hollywood giants are suing image generator Midjourney, calling it a bottomless pit of plagiarism. The studios say the tool copies characters like Darth Vader, Elsa, and even the Minions, raising questions about copyright and creativity in the age of AI. While some see artificial intelligence as a tool for innovation, the lawsuit underscores the tension between technology and intellectual property, and whether AI can ever truly be held accountable for its creations. Now, the race for the next generation of carrier-based fighters just got more futuristic. Stavata Aerospace has unveiled its bold concept, the SM-39 Razor, a sleek Batwing-inspired jet designed for the U.S. Navy's NGAD program. With a claimed top speed of Mach 4, double that of its competitors, the aircraft combines advanced aerodynamics, variable cycle engines, and stealth features all packed into this radical new design. While it's still on paper for now, the Razor highlights how engineers are rethinking air combat for the skies of tomorrow. Researchers at the University of Bristol are developing soft robotic exosuit trousers designed to help astronauts move more naturally on the moon and on Mars. They're worn under a pressurized spacesuit. The fabric-based suit actually uses inflatable artificial muscles to reduce lower limb fatigue while walking, climbing, or carrying anything heavy. Scientists say the technology could eventually combine movement assistance with resistance training to maintain muscle mass, which is a challenge in reduced gravity. And it may even have applications on Earth for rehabilitation and physical therapy. Let's take a listen.
So usually what happens when you wear a heavy spacesuit, you lose a lot of mobility and range of motion in your knee. So the way we're trying to solve that is by adding force through the artificial muscles when the knee is extending during walking. And in that way, we regain a little bit of range of motion. It feels very strange, I've got to say, because like I said, it's like having an added layer of muscles. So your own muscles are not working as hard. And you can tell the difference when you turn it off and you try and walk it normally. You can always tell that something's missing. So it almost feels like someone is like giving you a little push to move just a little bit easier, you know?
Trouble in Albania. Remember in a past Innov'Nation episode, we talked about an Albanian minister generated by AI? This AI minister was pregnant, as you remember, with 83 digital babies. Well, the woman who lent her face to the digital minister is now filing a complaint. Anila Bisha is an actress, and she claims she had not signed up for this. Let's listen.
I am not here to replace people, but to assist them. Truly, I do not have citizenship, nor do I have any personal ambition or interests.
This is a very important case. What happened to me could happen to any of my colleagues or even a stranger. It is extremely dangerous, not only as myself, but as a public figure who built a very good, well-loved name for the public, and the public loved me. Whether I want or not, there is a part of the public who don't like the Prime Minister, and so now they also hate me, without having anything to do with this politics. I went through a truly very bad period and honestly wasn't feeling emotionally very well. I had real problems and never expected everything to get so much worse. Initially, I said this was just a joke, but then I saw every day the strangest memes started spreading. They wrote that Diela will always live, will have her children, and every day it was something very serious for me. And then I said, I never agreed to this in any contract, so this has to stop.
All of these out-of-this-world stories, but maybe not for long. A look into the future on this week's episode of Innov'Nation. But that's all we have time for today. I'm Nicole Zedek. Next week, Lynn Plachmeyer should be back for a brand new episode of Innov'Nation right here on I-24 News. Until then, thanks so much for tuning in.